I am ready to embrace my inner mood reader this May. Hey book besties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do an April reading wrap up and go through my May hopefuls. I am really trying for May to not load myself up too much with things to read because I just want to embrace the mood reader in me. The last couple months have been jam-packed with buddy reads, ARCs, book clubs. I overcommit myself and I need to calm it down because I'm a mood reader at heart and I really need to embrace that more. So first, let's do my April reading wrap up. I read 11 books in the month of April, so let's talk about them. One of the last books that I finished the month with was The Passengers. This is my second John Marrs book, and unfortunately, it's the second book of his that I didn't enjoy. I will say that I went into this one a little blind. It had a lot more sci-fi in it than I anticipated, and sci-fi just really isn't my vibe, so I didn't really connect with that in the story. Some of the twists were okay. I really didn't feel that invested in it. I kind of read as fast as I could just to get to the end, if I'm being honest. I gave it 2 stars. I read Mockingjay. This is a reread. I love this series so much. I was honestly really sad when it ended because I've been really enjoying being in this world, as weird as that sounds. I just really love this story so much. I've been rereading this with a group of friends on Fable, and yeah, last book in the series, gave it 5 stars. The whole trilogy is a 5-star for me. I read What If I Never Get Over You. I read this as an ARC. I got this copy from Putnam Publishing, Putnam Books, I think it's called. Yeah. This was such a fun story, very emotional, gut-wrenching. Like, I really felt for these characters so much. This was my first Paige Toon book, and I can't wait to read more from her. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I read No Place Left to Hide. This was my second Megan Lally book, and I ate this up. This is a bit more of a YA thriller, but it reminded me a lot of Gossip Girl and Pretty Little Liars, which are shows that I grew up on. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 stars. It was just so good. I read the 4th book in the High Five novella series, Run Little Bunny. This was such a fun, spicy Easter read. I read it in a day. I love this series. I actually ended up DNFing this book at like 30-something%. This was my local book club's pick for this month, and I'm sorry. I was so bored. I was really trying to get through it because it was a book club read, but I literally said to myself, like, I can't put myself through this anymore. So DNF'd, and I don't feel bad about it because everybody in my book club didn't enjoy it either, so I don't feel like I'm missing out. I also read A Pumpkin and a Patch. I'm in a Sisterhood of the Traveling Book, and this was the book that I got for last month. It was cute. It obviously is not fall, but it definitely had these like fun pumpkin fall vibes, you know, which was cute. I ended up giving this 3 stars. I read Did You See Evie? This book came out last month and I got to read it as an ARC. I love Miranda Smith's thrillers, and this one was so good. It did take me a little bit to get into the story, but once I did, I was hooked. I could not get through it fast enough. I needed to know what happened. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I also got to read If You're Ready. I don't think I got this as an ARC necessarily, but I did receive this from the author and I think her publisher or her agent, something like that. Anyway, I love this book. It was such an emotional read, and I felt so strongly for these characters. I could not get enough. They're just like in my heart. Do you know what I mean? I just loved it so much. I ended up giving it 4 stars. This book got re-released at the end of April, and I received the re-released version from NerdFam. I didn't care for this. I was really bored, to be honest. Again, I ended up finishing it because it actually was a quick read. It was like 200-something pages, so not terribly long. I ended up giving it 2 stars. It just wasn't for me. And I saved my favorite read of the month for last, The Frontrunner. A group of my friends and I are reading Elsie Silver books, and this is the 3rd book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and it was my favorite. When I tell you that I loved Stefan and Mira, they have a chokehold on me. I was like, I never understood the phrase where people said that they were like kicking their legs and all giddy when they're reading a romance until I read this, because that is exactly how I felt. The banter between the two of them, I was laughing out loud. I was like giggling, crying, like swooning. Oh my God, I couldn't get enough. I like read it literally the last minute of April to fit it in for my reading wrap up. And I was right before bed, read it before I went to sleep. And then I couldn't fall asleep because I was like so amped up from the story. Oh my God, I just loved it so much. So those are the books that I read in April. Now let's round up all the books I'm planning to read in May. So like I said, I'm trying to be not too stacked up for May, and I do have less books on my list than I usually have, but it's still a lot. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, so first up is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm continuing my Hunger Games reread. The group actually read this one last month. They wanted to double up with book 3 and this one so that we could get to Sunrise on the Reaping faster, but I didn't make it to this one. So I'll be reading this one, and then I'm gonna pick up Sunrise on the Reaping, which I am so excited about. I've been really excited to read this book. I've heard so many good things, and I just cannot wait to dive in. My Sisterhood of the Traveling Book this month is out on a limb, and look at all these tabs. This is like the most tabs I've ever gotten in one of my Sisterhood books, as everybody's been reading them. And this one here is probably the book I've been looking forward to the most, so I can't wait. I've just heard such good things about this one. I also received an ARC from an author, Spontaneous Remission. This is like a medical thriller. It comes out this month. I believe it's May 18th, and I'm really excited to read this. It's a little bit thick, but my favorite author gave a blurb for this book, Heather Gudenkauf, so I knew I had to check it out. Another book, series that I got from an author was the Whole Time series. A bunch of my friends on Book Talk were gifted this series, so we're all gonna be buddy reading them this month. This month, we're actually gonna do the first 2, so The Whole Time Book 1, and then The Whole Time Book 2. I am excited to dive in. One of my friends raves about this series, so I can't wait to see what all the hype is about. As I said earlier, I'll be reading the next book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, which is A False Start. I can't wait to dive into this one. I know it's about Stefan's sister Nadia and his best friend, so I'm excited to see what this is all about. I'm also going to be reading Death Row. This was the bonus short story for Amazon Reads. It's like 70 pages. I'm just gonna pick it up one day and read the whole thing. I don't even know what it's about, but it's Frida McFadden, so yeah, we'll see. I did start listening to The Lake of Lost Girls. I've heard this is really good on audio. I'm about 20% through, and I'm really enjoying it. This month, my local book club is reading Broken Country. I've heard really good things about this, and I cannot wait to dive in. Next up, I have a couple arcs to read. 2 come out at the endish of May, and the other 2 come out beginning of June. So I definitely want to get those read before June comes, but we'll see. First is a book by an indie author. It's called The Tomorrows After You. It sounds really cute and like an emotional read, which is something that I really enjoy. Next is Whispers of Dead Girls. This one sounds really good. I've heard good things about this author as well, but I haven't read any of her books yet. This comes out May 27th. I swear I'm almost 100% positive that's when it comes out. Now, these next 2 books I know come out on June 3rd, and they're both thrillers. We have Boney Creek. I have not read a book by this author yet, so I'm excited to see what it's all about. Last is The Ghostwriter. I've read 2 Julie Clark books and loved them, so I am really excited to check this one out. It sounds amazing. So that's it. That's a lot of books. I'm really hoping that I can do a lot more mood reading, because I've been feeling a little bit constrained because I commit to so much, and I don't let myself pick what I really want to read in the moment. I have a lot of fun doing buddy reads and group reading and book clubs, and that's just so much fun for me. But also I do miss being able to just pick up a book to go by the vibes. It's just something that's how I used to read before I, joined online communities, and I kind of miss it. So I'm hoping to get back into that this month, definitely next month. We'll see. I've said it before, but somebody needs to take away my NetGalley access, because I don't know how not to ask for books that I want to read. It's a problem. But anyway, in the comments, let me know what your favorite read from April was and the book you're most looking forward to reading in May. Thanks for watching, besties. See you next time.